Yo, what's up? This is Rebel.
And I'm Erm. Welcome to the UpNUp.
Yes. So today is actually our 100th episode of the UpNUp Podcast. It's been a long time coming, but outside of just it being the 100th episode, it's actually a celebration of the 99 previous moments, the 99 previous legacies, the 99 previous attempts of us just really trying to cultivate culture through storytelling and amplifying the voices that exist out here. So that's what's happening today.
The UpNUp is out here to cultivate culture, pretty much just uplift everybody that's doing something out here, anybody with a mission, anybody with a drive that's really trying to put themselves on the map, put their community on the map. We want to highlight that, provide a platform.
But 5 years young, I would say. So much more to do, so much more to learn, so much more to grow, and so much more impact to make. So we're excited, man. Yo, what up? It's your boy Rubino.
And this DJ Erm in the building.
And you listening to the UpNUp Podcast.
Yeah.
Wait, what are we doing?
I don't know, just listen.
Yes. Welcome.
What it do?
Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuning to the UpNUp Podcast on the UpNUp Network. I'm your host, Rubino.
And I'm DJ Erm, man.
How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. There's a different type of energy in the air right now, man.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's a blessing.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a blessed energy going on right
Mm-hmm.
now. Man, well, for those of you first-time listeners, welcome to the show. As I stated, this is the UpNUp Podcast. This is the podcast where we're focused on cultivating culture, right?
Yep.
We do that by providing amazing stories of individuals, groups, movements, the hustlers, the shakers, those breaking down barriers, right? For all of us currently here as well as the next generation to come.
Yes, sir.
What about the energy is it, bro?
Man, I don't know, man, but the number 100 has just been floating around all day, man.
100.
Yeah.
8 more than 92.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for those of you who can't get the picture, this is our 100th episode. Let's get a round of applause real quick. Can we get a round of applause? Man, bro, this is actually an interesting episode, right? Because we actually took it upon ourselves to choose to not have a guest for the first time, right?
Yeah.
We chose to actually use this episode as a reflection episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think for those who have been following the journey, following the movement, right, the family members, as we like to call them, they've seen the show grow, right?
Yep.
They've seen us grow as hosts, as interviewers, as broadcasters, and I think, I don't know, we just felt like it was right?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. This is like, how we talk about, like, sometimes you work so hard, you forget to watch your highlights.
Mm-hmm.
I think we finally sit back and watch them a little bit. Yeah.
No, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Now, before we do kind of kick the show off, we do kind of have some things we're definitely going to be able to touch on. I just want to kind of start off by saying, man, for it being 100 episodes, for me, currently, the thing I'm thinking about right now, I should say, is I'm thinking about, like I was saying earlier, 99 different legacies, right? That we've been able to connect with and help amplify. 99 moments in history, right? Like I say, we're finding and we're preserving history in real time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
99 attempts to push the culture forward, right? 99 intentional moves to invest in our people, right? And when I say invest in our people, invest in their stories, invest in their journeys, invest in the power that they have and the things that they've done. So I don't know. I'm not really a numbers guy, right? When you hear episodes, you hear numbers, people are so fixated on trying to accumulate the most. But I think it's a matter of what those represent to me more so than just any numbers. So that's why I had to shout out the 99. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It was just 99 different stories, man. And each and every one of them was enjoyable, man. Like, just to hear, it was uplifting. It's kind of nice to see a lot of people come from different industries, but everybody goes through a lot of similar emotions when they're trying to reach their goal or they're on their mission. You know what I mean? And it's just interesting how everybody's is unique too at the same time. So it's a beautiful thing. Even when you see people collabing now, I mean, for me, I feel like I grew because I didn't really know what was going on too much in the city. Yeah. And just from talking to these 99 individuals that came on the show before, man, I learned a lot, man. And they have a crazy impact on my life, you know? So,
nah, for sure. I agree, bro. I think we're spoiled, you know, because we get to really sit here in real time and learn in real time, right, from some of the best, right? And when I say the best, it's not a matter of how established they are, but it's the best in their attempt, you know what I mean? Like, we're tapping into people who actually care, right, who actually want to do something different, want to push and want to contribute, you know, and I think that's what it boils down to. Now, before we kind of get the show rolling, I would be remiss if we did not at least have kind of a small segment just to give some thank yous. You know, every episode we always shout out the family members, right? And by family members, I'm talking about the listeners, the viewers, the supporters, those who may have listened one time and dipped off, but then came back 30 episodes later and dipped off and came back. And you know what I mean? Like any support, man, is appreciated. So for the listeners, the viewership, the family, thank you. Definitely want to send a thank you to even the collaborators, you know, those that we've been able to collaborate with, whether it's just a one-off or whether it's a relationship that we've been able to develop. Thank you to you guys. You guys help push us to make us better. And of course, I want to shout out the partners and sponsors, those who've been able to not only believe in the work we're doing, but actually assist in our growth, you know? So for those who've been able to connect with us in that capacity, shout out to y'all. We appreciate y'all, and we ain't gonna stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop, man.
And of course, all the past guests, right? If you're listening to this, if you see this, man, if you have been able to grace the show and you know, be vulnerable enough to share your story with us, share some of those things you probably never got a chance to talk about, about your journey with us and with our audience and with our platform. We want to thank you. We want to always big you up for continuously doing the work you're doing, because again, you make us possible. You make what we do possible. So do you want to?
Sure.
I would have to get my thank yous out the way.
Oh yeah. I mean, you covered pretty much everything, but thank you to everyone, man. Everyone that just believed, man. At the end of the day, like anybody that's tapped in with us somehow, anybody that even, you know, caught me on the street somewhere and try to give me suggestions, that means you're invested, which I appreciate. Just everybody, man. Everybody that's just helped us and, you know, supported us in any type of way. Just want to say thank you, like for real, because, man, this is what we tell our guests, you know, this is their show, not ours, you know. So
definitely,
we wouldn't even be here without you guys.
Nah, for sure, man. I agree, man. Now let's get this thing moving. We're not alone here, obviously. We got a lot of people in the room. Some we've just met for the first time. Obviously, the team members, the gang, the squad, right? We even got a alumni in the building, UpNUp alumni. Shout out my guy Chase Fade in the building.
Yes, sir.
I don't remember what episode he was, but he was definitely one of the 99, 100%. Shout out to him being here. So yeah, I actually wanted to take this moment to just kind of like kick it with the team and kind of do some reflection. So I don't know if Biniam, you want to come up here and kick it with us for a second?
Who else, man?
Who's next? Nah, man. So one of the things I definitely wanted to touch on, and this is for, you know, obviously the consistent family members who've been tapped in, and also if this is your first time listening. For those who do not know, you know, our mission and one of our, you know, coined slogans and phrases is cultivating culture, right? And I remember when we first launched, which was in 2018. Prior to 2018, it was about a 2-year marinating process of just really trying to figure out why we wanted to do what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that really helped us was identifying what we want to do for the culture, right? Everybody says for the culture. You hear that all the time, right? Do it for the culture. Do it for the culture. And I think for us, it was like, we want to cultivate the culture in the only way we know we can do it. You know what I'm saying? In a way that is natural to us. And I think that's kind of what I wanted to touch on, man. Like, from the mission statement being released, like, how have we seen the term cultivating culture actually manifest? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, it's really took a life of its own, but like, what does that mean? Like, how do y'all view it? What's up, Biniam? My bad. I don't mean.
Yeah, come on. Can we get a round of
We don't know how to get in.
Hey, man. Shout out to Biniam in the building. Heads up, directs our entire videography production.
Yeah.
So if you wonder why I look cool on camera or he looks cool on camera, it ain't me.
Yeah, it was good, y'all.
What's up, bro?
It's kind of cool being here, like, without testing equipment and just, like,
Yeah.
It only took 100 episodes, so good looking, y'all.
Yes, sir.
It only took 100, bro. It only took 100. How you like being on camera, though?
It's cool, man. It's like going back to college, all the times that we've done all these shows. Yeah, so if anybody doesn't know, we all went to school together, Washington State University.
Go Cougs. Shout out my fellow Cougs right here.
Yeah, so we out here. And we were very active on campus in terms of, like, leadership and being on clubs and committees. We've all held leadership positions. So, yeah, I didn't get into digital media in school, you guys know, but I got into it once we started the UpNUp.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to help in any way. And I was actually the computer guy, right? Like,
Senior tech. We call him senior tech.
that is an OG role.
I just love how we just all come up with titles. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody knows what someone does and what they're really good at, but like for some reason you just got to throw a title on it.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Yeah, so I was definitely like, we need accessories or laptop or softwares or anything about editing. Like that was my role for the first year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Ern about this. We had an episode with the Road Bell. I don't know what episode that was, but it was definitely in the beginning stages.
Super early. Yeah.
We had a video malfunction with one of the cameras where it, like, just turned off. And Ern was looking at me like I know how cameras work.
See your tech, man.
I was like, dog, I just know how to push the button and it wouldn't turn on. And I felt so, like, useless. And that's actually what helped me, like, looking into more of the cameras of, like, how I could help on set and stuff like that. And, yeah.
Yeah, man, we got to give you your flowers, man, because you definitely took off with that, man. Like, from that moment you're talking about right now until now, like, man, it's a whole different beast. So I just want to give you your props, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
I was going to bring flowers today, bro. I'm not even going to lie to you. I was going to bring flowers and then start handing them out to everybody. I swear to God. So I'll give you some verbal flowers.
I believe you.
Nah, for sure. No, I think that's part of the cultivating culture aspect, right? Like, internally, we've cultivated ourselves. I think, like Biniam's talking about, like, to go from wanting to assist, behind the scenes with the camera and not really knowing about cameras to where he is now as being one of the top photographers, you know what I'm saying, and just media professionals in his own respective right within this region is like it just speaks for itself, you know what I mean? And you don't foresee that though, right? No one gets into something to say, oh, I'm going to be this. You get into it to say, oh, I'm fascinated, let me see, and then through hard work and dedication it grows. But the reason I wanted to touch on cultivating culture is because I have our mission statement, which is what we created when we first started. And it says, our platform will fill a desirable niche consisting of content, events, and community projects dedicated to inspiring, uplifting, and building up the next generation of visionaries, right? Now, a lot of times people create mission statements, right? But we were talking about this with Amari. You got to walk into that mission, right? Like, you can come up with whatever mission statement you want, but eventually you got to walk into it. And that's what I wanted to talk about was when we said we want to cultivate culture and then we actually have to, like, do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What I realized was over time, it went from becoming just passion, fun, enjoyable, and then a responsibility aspect kicked in, right? I can't say exactly where or what episode it was, but I know for a fact there was a point when you felt a sense of responsibility for what we're doing, and that's when the mission started to really kick in, right? It wasn't just some text that you put on your website. It wasn't just something you would show on an Instagram post to say, hey, this is what we do. Yeah. It was like, oh, shit, like, we're becoming an outlet that people are seeing as a way for them to get their voices out, get their stories out, and to really, help and utilize us. So that's when the responsibility kicked in, and that's kind of what a mission statement should be, right? What do you think about that? I don't know. That's just, for me, that's just how my realization came to be.
Yeah. No, I feel you definitely. It definitely came with, like, hearing all the stories. And I think, like, even the way we were all here listening and it impacted us too, I think that's when it was like, oh, wow. Okay, we definitely got a responsibility here because, I mean, it was kind of like inspiring us too at the same time. So it was kind of like we were growing together with every guest that we had. You 100%. Know what I mean? So I think that's when it kind of clicked for me. I can't tell you exactly when, like you said, but definitely I was like, all right, this is nothing to play with. You know, we got to take this very serious. Yeah. And like we just got to show up and we got to keep going. You know, so
show up.
Yeah. You know, so I think that's pretty much how it sums it up for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think for me, it clicked immediately because, I mean, we were dedicating hours to just being a student of just learning how everything works, right? Like, I've seen you guys grow to the co-host you guys are now from watching other people online and writing down your notes and how has grown into his own right with coming up with his notes. Yeah. And Robbie watching hours of videos, you know, right? So, like, I've seen the hours you guys dedicated to, like, your individual craft, and it's the hours I dedicate to me becoming not just a photographer, but also like a filmmaker, right?
Yeah.
So, we've lived to the mission statement before we made the mission statement, right? But just like said, like with every guest, like I didn't realize like I was learning from these people every single episode, right? Because we've had a wide range of entrepreneurs, business people, artists, like name it, right?
Yeah.
But you can find a commonality in their stories and their journeys and the ups and downs. And I've applied them to my own journey. You guys have applied to your own journeys. The rest of the team has. And it's cool because, like, I mean, I'm a people person, so I love going out and networking and meeting new people. And it's like you either meet past guests or people that want to come on a show or that have gained knowledge from one of the episodes. And it's like that can flourish and become its own conversation, its own relationship. So I felt it immediately, and that's why I wanted to do more of a service. You know what I mean? Get it out the gutter with your day ones, you know. But it's also like we've all established a sense of individuality, which all of our guests have done too. You know, so
for sure,
it's fire.
No, I think, and that's like, I think that's why I think sometimes looking back and reflecting is important because, I don't know, me personally, like. I just remember early days of like saying, yo, this is what we're trying to do. This is like a void we're trying to fill, right? Like before we even launched the platform, I remember there was a lot of conversations about, yo, people don't support each other out here. And I feel like every city has a little version of that. And it was like, well, why? And it was like, oh, because nobody knows who's doing what. Nobody's aware of who's doing what. So you mean to tell me there's a Fortune 500 company being built by a black kid who lives next door to you and you don't even know who he is? Or there's a, you know what I'm saying? There's a super talented filmmaker that you don't know who he is or she is, right? So it's like, I think those early conversations really got the ball rolling, right? Because when I say cultivating culture, I'm like, damn, I'm seeing a shift, right? And I think people are so fixated on taking credit for things as opposed to just understanding their attempt to contribute. And I think we can honestly say our attempt to contribute is working and has worked and will continue to work, right? Because I think that's ultimately what I keep at the forefront when I think of cultivating culture is like, when I look at the mission statement is like impactful content has been made, right? Community has been built, right? And even going further, like just the expansion of the platform for us to be able to create other branches, right? Referencing the World is Yours workshop, which is now becoming a program, which is now allowing us to enter the education space for the youth, right? Like these aren't things that were actually like spoken about out the gate, but they materialize. And so, man, I just definitely want to touch on that because I just think the mission of cultivating culture is like, it sounds cool, but like, what does it mean and how has it been, felt? And I don't know. Just proud, man. Proud of us. Sure.
Definitely, it's definitely been felt, man. So,
and it was not easy.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure.
I don't want to glamorize the entrepreneurial journey. It's not easy. It's 10% fun, 90% what the fuck am I doing? You put your money to it. You put your time into it. You sacrifice not going out, not kicking, not going on vacations. Your family got to know why you're not home a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's a grind, man. And with us, we're in a dope position because we got each other.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that do this by themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So we've understood that privilege early on. You know what I mean? Because we're not just business partners, like we're brothers. Like we knew each other coming into the game. So we started with the same business dudes that we're here with now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, in 5 years, that's not easy to do.
Yeah.
No, for
It's
sure.
impossible.
I think also it's just the why. I think when you ask what am I doing, you're always going to be asking what am I doing first of all. For anybody out there, you're going to always be at, because when you get to a new level, it's a whole nother version of what the hell am I doing? What the hell do I have to do?
Yeah.
So like that shit is never going to
You know
end.
what I'm thinking about, right?
That's never going to end. You know what I mean? But the why am I doing it part should always be permanent.
Mhm.
If you know the why I'm doing it part, who cares about the what am I doing?
Yeah.
Because the what, it will get figured out. And as soon as you figure that out, guess what? You're going to have another moment of what am I doing? How do I do it? But when you know why you're doing something, that don't ever change.
It don't change. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So that's what's going to keep you there to figure out the what. You know what I mean? So that's just my little.
Yeah. I feel like you kind of
Yeah.
you kind of describe the logo in a way.
Yeah. Talk
You know
about
what I'm
it.
saying? It kind of keeps you there. You know, you stay rooted in like your why. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? This is why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Everything. You're never gonna forget why or
Mm.
you know where you came from, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Why you started.
Yeah. But then you're still gonna obviously you want to evolve and you want to level up. So that's why, hence the finger is pointing you up because it's like, yeah, don't worry, you're still rooted in what you're doing and you know why you're doing it. But definitely get what's yours, man.
Come
You know
on,
what I'm
man.
saying?
I still remember those early days logo sketch designs that Robbie had.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Damascus Purnell, by the way.
Thanks,
He was the one,
D-Man.
he was the one, D-Man.
Yeah.
He was the one
Sure.
created the logo.
He also designed my logo too, BY Visuals.
Yeah,
so
man.
we always keep it in house.
Yeah. Now, this is a part of the episode I definitely am excited for. I think it gives us a chance to, like you said, reflect more specifically on certain memorable episodes and past guests that we've had on the show. Right? Like I said, there's 99 of them. And like I said earlier, I ain't playing no favorites. I love all of them equally. But
Sound
they're
like a proud father.
yeah, for sure. I don't got no
You
kids.
got one
Nah, I
favorite
got no
kid.
kids, bro. Nah, man, but definitely just want to kind of tap in on some of the memorable episodes. I can start off just, and again, these aren't favorites. These are ones that I feel like I definitely taken from, and it's just shaped me, impacted me in different ways. But I mentioned one earlier, episode 70, which is titled Respect Your Passion with Dominique Davis. Now, Dominique Davis, he is the founder of Community Passageways, which is a nonprofit based here in Seattle, Washington. And to sum it up, what they're doing is saving lives, right? Black and brown kids, youth. They're giving them the proper guidance, the proper tools, and the proper roadmap to literally steer away from all of the traps that are set up for them, right? And I chose that episode because I just remember, if you go back and listen to it, I just remember him talking passionately about how many of his counterparts at the time, before he started Community Passageways, were telling him what he was trying to do is not going to work. I remember he was just you know what I'm saying? He was going in on that. And his resilience to say, no, you don't think it's going to work, but I'm going to show you why it's going to work. And for reference, what he was essentially trying to do was he was trying to provide a new solution to the justice system to find a way to divert felonies for young teens who already got felonies on their records. And so he just said, oh, you know what? I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to take a kid who has a felony, and I'm going to go to the prosecutor, and I'm going to say, hey, listen, this kid, I can get him on the right track, boom, 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 boom. And the prosecutor told him, the judge needs to see documentation of all his progress. So he took this kid for however many months or a year or whatever it was, and literally took him through a process of getting him back in school, getting him a job, getting him on the right track, getting him engaged in things. To eventually, this kid became one of the shining star students of Washington State. It was like a recognition award. All these accolades, all this documentation that was presented to the judge eventually removed his felony, right? So just hearing, and then after that, that was the blueprint that he created for himself to duplicate, to also create his platform now and his organization. So I don't know, that resilience, that, okay, you don't think it's going to work, but I got a vision for why it's going to work. I don't know, that always sticks with me, bro.
Yeah.
So, yeah, shout out to Dominique Davis.
Dominique.
Shout out to Community Passageways for sure.
Yeah.
And these are those stories that, when we're here, I'm, lost in his story. You know what I mean? So inspired. And, it's these are real deal heroes that live, 6 blocks from you and me?
No, I actually, I call it real superhero. really saving lives for real.
Yeah, and I want to touch on obviously, you know, Seahawks legend. I'm gonna say Seahawks legend, Doug Baldwin and Cliff Averill actually. Just getting an insight of like how, you know, football players are transitioning back, you know, into, you know, life after football was very like, man, it was kind of dope to hear like the insight on that. Just how they're trying to like pretty much acclimate themselves like in society and figure out what's next. You know what I'm saying? Because I always heard the stories of like, oh, this NBA player went broke, this NFL player went broke, Like it was a whole bunch of negative stuff I was hearing. But then it was kind of good to hear how they kind of rose above that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, I haven't like tapped into too much of them, but that one, it was dope. Both of them, I'm gonna say, because it was kind of similar. You know what I mean? And they're doing great stuff for our community. You know, you know, the basketball games they're hosting.
Champions of Change organization.
Change.
Yeah.
The community centers are opening up. They just opened up. You know what I'm
Family
saying?
first.
Family first.
Yeah.
So just stuff like that, man. So
you know what's crazy about you know what's crazy about their episode specifically is like, you know, when you have certain high profile guests on your show, it draws attention. And a lot of times for obvious reasons, because everybody knows who they are and they're fans of them for what they do on the field and in their respective sports. But I'm glad you brought those episodes up because it gave us a chance to see the human side of them.
Yeah, exactly.
The more than an athlete phrase that's so popular now, and you get to learn about the human side of them and understand like how their mind works and what their passions are, what really moves them, what really drives them.
Yeah.
I mean, what things gave them doubts, right? I think that's why it's important to highlight those episodes for sure, because you know these are really exceptional human beings, right?
Yeah.
Who we know for one thing, but then you get to pull that curtain back and you get to see there's so much more.
Yeah,
so that's dope. Those are good ones,
man. So
what you got, Biniam?
Man, mine was I had two. Okay. So mine was for sure Giracial, episode 67.
Okay. Shout out Jay Rochelle.
Amazing, like director and producer, and she's done some amazing visual work. She's a great spoken word artist too on the side. So when we had her on the show, I was really trying to dabble more into video or photo. So a lot of the advice that she was saying, dropping gems the whole episode, by the way.
Flowing.
I mean, it was like I was in awe. And it's pretty cool, like the books that she reads and like the documentaries she's into. I mean, it's right up my lane. So it's pretty cool that I have a relationship with her now in terms of like, you know, asking questions and stuff like that. So that was fire. And
shout out to her, man.
Amazing person. And episode 84, Roger and Caesar at Medium Collective, man. Those are the homies, man.
Shout out the boys.
Those guys, man, like salute, man. Because like when I met them, like they were really like jugging t-shirts out their vans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like to see them now have like their own brick and mortar store, like in Cap Hill, doing like fashion walkways and on boat parties. Like, I mean, and their brothers, like they're really doing it. You know what I mean? Like one brother had the vision. One was like, I got you. We gonna back you up. And I mean, they spent racks, bro, just going to convention centers and understanding like the merch industry. And like, even though we're not really fully in like merch, like we're a network company that has a merch department, like I could just respect like that grind. You know, it's not easy, just long hours, you're trying to figure everything out. And, you know, from, you know, especially like men of color, like I can understand the different dynamics that we have to maneuver through. So, you know, it's always salute when you see guys getting it just the way like we are, you know. So
nah, shout out to them, man. And they're just resilient, bro. They're hustlers, you know what I'm saying? And I think one thing is they're having fun with what they're doing as well. You know, I think that's the part sometimes people lose sight of. It's like, you're going to grind, you're going to work, but you got to have fun while you're doing it. Yeah. And you can't be afraid to try some cool shit because they do some dope stuff. Like,
and, man, another one I want to shout out is Deuce, Make It Count.
Episode
49.
Shout out my boy.
Man, his episode was crazy. He's the ultimate supporter, first off. Like, just of everybody. You know what I mean? So shout out to him for sure.
Showing love.
It was crazy because when we launched at our launch party, is when I was talking to him, you know, and he was like, man, I'm going to do something with these shirts, you know. He was talking about clothing before he came out with his brand, you know what I mean? And he was like, but I'm going to do it, though. You know, he was trying to pretty much put it together. And then, like, man, where he's at now, it's crazy, man. Like, so I want to shout out to him. Like I said, he's the ultimate supporter on his show. He said it costs $0, man, to support the next person. So that's like, I feel like that's him right there. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him, man.
Yeah, especially early my photography like journey. He was one of the few people that hit me up to take, pictures of all his items, and I didn't even charge him, man, because I was like, man, you're kind of putting like a lot of trust in me, But he was like, why would I not hire you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like, I felt dumb to even ask, So it was like, that's always the bro, always showing love. And it's not a two-way type thing, that's just how he's cut, So shout out to Dejan.
Yeah, nah, it's crazy because you never really know what, like, sometimes it's just a matter of adding value to each other. You know what I'm saying? And what comes from that comes from that. And that's one thing I always tell people is like what people see are episodes, they see content, but a lot of times there's relationships being built as well. And so, one more episode I did want to touch on that I think is super important and just stuck out to me was episode 22 with Ashley McGirt. It's titled "What's on Your Mind," and this was one of the early episodes, but it was also one of the first times we actually brought on the topic of mental health and therapy and just wellness, you know what I'm saying? And having her come on and really giving not only us, but just the audience an inside look to what the possibilities and the benefits of therapy are, why mental health is super important to focus on. Like these are things that I wasn't comfortable talking about.
Nah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I remember if I look back at that episode, it was very, there's a lot of listening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Less talking, more listening. So just wanted to shout her out because I do think, I specifically remember getting a message, a DM from one of the homies who passed away. He's no longer here, but he was telling me how that episode was super impactful for his brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Who was going through that type of stuff. So those type of messages, you don't forget that. And that type of impact is what kind of is never really going to be seen, but it makes certain moments and episodes hold more weight. You know what I mean? So, so shout out to Ashley McGirt. Shout out to that episode.
Yep.
Moving along,
man. Can I do one more?
Okay, man.
Just cause this one is kind of
this ain't never gonna end.
No, it's just kind of unique. That's why, cause it was Ish's episode, man.
Shout out Chase Faye.
Chase Faye's episode for sure, bro.
But episode 30, it was a listener appreciation show.
Ish.
We was doing that ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
before he had the dreads.
Bro, before he had the dreads, before he was DJing, whatever, but he was talking about bringing his authentic self in the room, everywhere he goes.
I remember that.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember that.
And I think he was working at Zillow at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he was just talking about jumping off the cliff. We were talking about that. You know, he was like,
what happens if you
fall?
fly?
What happens if you fly?
Yeah.
You know, so that stuck with me.
And
too.
you guys don't know, Ish was one of the founding members of Bello too when that was going on. So
Black
yeah, exactly.
That was big.
But then seeing what he's doing now, like entering a whole new game, like DJing and doing his thing, I just want to shout him out. And it's just it's a crazy, unique type of episode. I just kind of want to throw out there too, because I was a listener appreciation show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he. So
listen, man.
Shout out Ish, man.
This world is full of so many creatives, visionaries. You know what I'm saying? And it's we're no better than anybody, right? But I think what it is somebody got to step up and acknowledge what's going on for positive reasons. You know what I'm saying? If you see something good happening, I tell people all the time, and they probably don't believe me sometimes, but I say majority of the guests we have on this show, a lot of times the first time we actually meet them is when they show up, right? So it's not you see people who have platforms of their own, and they're usually only interviewing people they know personally, or they're comfortable, or kind of operate in the same industry as them. Whereas for us, we take it upon ourselves to challenge ourselves, not only ourselves, but the audience, to kind of get a look at something that we probably all don't know, right? Insight to an industry we probably all are curious about. So it forces us to kind of go out and kind of make connections, right, with certain people who may not know who we are. So I just put that out there to say there's greatness walking all around us, right? So I always echo that, pay attention to the people around you, have conversations, figure out what they're passionate about, figure out what they really care about, because you really never know who you're standing next to at all times. You know what I mean? Now, moving along, and if anybody wanted to join in on us, Nahum, he definitely don't want to get on camera.
Don't even look at that way.
I got a fourth mic. Nahum, you want to come join us, bro? Come on, man. Can we get a round of applause for Nahum? Round of applause for Nahum, man. Let's get that chair set up, man. Nahum's also part of the production team. Day one. One of the most professional people you'll ever meet. Why are you making that face, bro?
I thought you was talking to Aaron. You talking to me?
Oh, my bad. Let me turn your mic up.
Yeah, let me give Nahum his flowers, too. So when I first bought my camera, Nahum let me play around with his camera to trying to, mess around with the settings and stuff like that. And one of the first things that we ever did was...
Can we give Nahum his flowers?
Yeah, I'm doing right now.
Hey,
can I speak? Can I finish?
Well, brothers.
Hey.
Come on, cheers.
Remember when we dropped the first hoodies?
Yeah. I do.
When we did the one word for everybody?
Cheers, brother.
That was me and Nahum playing around with the camera settings. Can you cheers me, too?
Cheers, brother.
So I'll give you your flowers to my brother.
Appreciate it.
Welcome, Nahum.
Wow.
Finally,
Here.
front of the camera, dog.
Yeah, bro. This is new thing for me.
New team.
But, hey,
Come on, man. Say something, man. I'm playing.
Hey, man.
Go ahead.
No, can you touch on like just how you seen the term cultivating culture, like, I guess, materialize? I don't know, like, how have you seen it from your perspective? Because you've seen.
Yeah, I seen from the beginning.
Yeah,
bro.
you've seen
This
everything.
Where we're at Pullman.
Yeah.
Was that Edo Murrows? What's the name of the building?
Edward Murrow.
Yeah.
Edward Murrows.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah, he
The
knows.
lake
Yeah,
section.
yeah,
Winfield
know.
knows.
Lake
Up in there, bro.
Yeah.
Sundays.
nights.
Yeah, man.
Bro, it was a big turnout. We had all the homies in the apartment land.
Okay, it wasn't always a turn up. Sometimes
You take away
But,
that.
yeah, but hey, man, give you guys the flowers, man. Just like being behind the scenes, seeing everything from the beginning, like all the research you guys do before the shows and everything, like
Yeah.
all the guests,
Yeah.
everything. Like, man, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff you guys do.
Yeah.
And then, like you said earlier, like your first time meeting them is here on the show, so you're like teaching them, like, or like making them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's huge. Like,
That's, man.
like there's how many guests, like at first, like you can see them and be like hesitant, and then
Yeah, a
like
little timid.
and then like
Yeah.
as the show goes on, like they'll be more comfortable and stuff.
Get
like
more
that,
loose.
You know?
Yeah.
I remember we had a like a side conversation. I forgot what episode it was, but Robbie was like, "Yo, shout out to the video team for like making the guests feel uncomfortable because we don't talk to the guests,
Yeah.
unless they kind of like the first 15 minutes when we do that like introduction period.
Yeah.
And so we took it upon ourselves to make it feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Because 7 black guys in
all
the
these
room.
cameras right here.
Yeah,
That's
like,
all it is.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
What
so
is
like,
it?
Yeah. It's the energy in the room.
exactly. So the energy we hear a lot, like you just get energy in this room.
Yeah.
So that's the vision that you guys started, and then it translates to us.
Yeah.
So it is just trying to give value to where we see fit.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, bro, because it's crazy. I tell people, like, you eventually get to a point where now people know what they're walking into. So, like, when we do invite certain people to the show, they can already anticipate what they're walking into. And I think that's the best thing when you kind of have – it's like your business card, right? It's like your identity. That's why I tell people. And this is perfect because the next topic I did want to jump into was advice for aspiring podcasters, creatives, anybody who's kind of trying to build something of their own. We can just kind of provide some tips and things that we've kind of learned along the way. But that's one of the things, bro. Like, I tell all the people who want to start podcasts, who want to start their own platform, is like you should also be focused on the identity you're creating, because that's what people are going to identify you as, right? Like, so when we invite certain people to the show to come here, we have an identity that's established that they know what they're walking into, right? They know it's not going to be no messy stuff. They know that they don't have to be kind of on edge or protect. Like, they know what they're walking into, right? So back to what you're saying, the energy that's created kind of allows for that identity to be created as well. That's one of the things I would definitely put out there is be mindful of the identity you are creating in whatever industry you're in, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Hey, can we get a shout out to our grants sponsors?
Oh yeah. We gave a shout out to the partners.
Yo, like,
We've definitely given.
how we started where we at right now.
Definitely different now.
Man,
Shout out to the supporters.
Good.
like for real, like for real. All this
shout out to paying the
equipment,
bills.
everything, man.
Yeah.
Yo, a lot of friendships don't last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that we've been for 5 years, and the fact before that we've been friends for a long time. You know,
Talk about it.
like that's
Talk about
real. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody have the same vision, the same passion, everybody trying to uplift each other. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? That's huge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you try to stick around with like a nice group of people,
Yep.
and like everybody that I've met and got to know along the journey. Like I don't need new friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have plenty.
I hear
You know?
you, Drake. Go ahead, Drake.
No, I'm just saying I have
I
plenty.
hear you.
You know what I'm saying? But like
I hear you.
I like being around like people, like-minded people that can uplift us, each other, and like
Yeah.
keep growing and get better and better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's it. Like no
Yeah.
matter what part of
Yeah.
what your passions is, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
That's
what I'm
real,
saying,
man.
Cheers to all that.
Even you bringing up the late sesh, man. It's like, yeah, look at us now. Like we're
Yeah.
still,
Bruh.
we're still here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we all like came up together. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a beautiful thing, bro. And
what was that?
I'm
Like
just glad.
2013?
Yeah, man.
15,
We was-
2015.
Are you sure?
15,
Nah,
2015.
bro.
Yeah, we
2015.
crossed.
I remember.
We
I
crossed,
remember.
bro.
being,
I would know.
We
I would
crossed,
know.
bro.
2015 is when we
15?
actually started the
Yeah.
late sesh.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
college,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It was.
It was our last year. That was it.
We had a show
that's
before
a
that.
that's a bro
So
that's
we
a
bet
that's
he-
a
Yeah, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
Yeah. So there was one before. Yeah.
Okay.
that's a good topic though, because I think one thing I definitely am hearing is the consistency comes from professionalism. Right? At the end of the day, like I always tell people, I'm like, when I see you, and whoever, I see a professional, right? Like obviously I see a friend, I see a brother, but I see a professional,
Yeah.
and I think that's what people sometimes fail when they are creating teams or they are creating groups and they're collaborating with people. It's like you got to respect people as professionals and see them as that, because I
Yeah.
think that's what's important. And anything you do, any sort of collaboration you want to do, or if you want to go work with someone, you should view them as a professional if that's kind of the space you're operating in, you know? And so
Yeah.
I just want to salute everybody for their professionalism, because that's when I talk about them as professionals and what they do, because they are that. So that's important. Respect everybody as professionals.
If I was to give advice for someone, maybe not like, so I don't get a lot of questions on how to start a podcast, like the way maybe you guys do. But I do get a lot of questions on like, how do you balance everything?
Mm.
Because I hate the word entrepreneur too.
Yeah.
Just call it what it is. We're broke all the time, always. That's what an entrepreneur is. Otherwise, you call me a millionaire. So, if you are trying to start a brand or a business, it's okay to have a 9 to 5 while you're building that up.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Let's stop shitting on having 9 to 5s.
Yeah.
You need income,
Yeah. Those,
and you need to go long hours and a few years of not making $1 to your craft.
Yeah.
And if you're not that committed, this is just my own journey and a lot of people that I met.
speak your truth,
If
brother.
you're not going at least 3-4 years without making $1, like I don't think you want it that bad. So at least with my own journey is I made it a point where the first like 1-2 years of like getting into digital media, I just studied the craft of like what it is to like learn this equipment. My second year, I was very intentional on meeting everybody that's in my industry, right? So not only do you tap in with Chase, but I tapped in with other photographers, other videographers. I see how much they charge. I see what their demographic is. I see how they edit, which software they use. Like I ask a lot of questions, but organically, right? So now I understand the field, right? And in my year 3 is all about expanding the brand out, and however I want to market my brand and my niche that maybe I don't see a demographic being targeted, just like the UpNUp, right? Like we saw a lot of unspoken voices not being highlighted, and that's how the brand got started. So don't just build a brand because it looks cool and somebody else is doing it. Like understand what is missing in whatever respective city that you're in or whatever market, and then hone in on that. But that's time, that's research, right? Like, and in my humble opinion, a lot of people don't want to put the work in. They just want,
I actually had that written, not to cut you off.
they
I had
want
that
the
written down.
overnight success, right? Like, oh, I've been working for 2 months. I'm like,
Other Gen Zs.
that's not a lot of time.
It's like everything quick now, you know what I'm saying?
Like, dog, you can
People don't
see,
understand the work.
you can
Exactly.
see, like, the day I bought my camera, it was actually Chase's episode, so full circle moment. Like, I had waves.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean? So it's like, do you really want to put the work in? And then if you don't see success, you have to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's real, bro. And I like the fact you brought up the time, because, like, my advice would just be patient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like just have a format, have a structure. You know what I'm saying? Something you kind of go off of, and kind of like go off of that, and then you kind of build on that structure. You know, it's kind of like have a foundation.
Yeah.
But don't like rush it, because oh yeah, set your pace. Don't react to the race, man. You know,
Mantra.
so like us. I remember the 2 years when we were planning, we had like ideas that we look back on and we're just like, damn, man, what if we did that? That would have been crazy. Or, you know what I'm
so
saying?
glad they never saw the light of day.
So, but imagine if we rushed, you know, and we
Yeah.
put that out. It's
Yeah.
like, then it's kind of like, oh, you don't want to regret anything. So take your time and kind of just like make sure it's like whatever you're doing, this is like what you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to have longevity, you know, but that only comes with patience. So that's my advice, you know.
That's real. Those are great points. I think what Nahum touched on was like the instant gratification. I think like when in this era, it's like everybody has a shot. Everybody always has a shot. You know what I'm saying? The resources you need are available. They're accessible. The barrier to entry is damn near, it doesn't even exist. So a lot of the things that once were stopping people from jumping into certain things or trying certain things, they don't exist. So what happens is, you touch on it, work. I actually have that written down like 4 times. Work, literally, bro. Because you have to put in the work, right? You have to put in the work, and that's like obvious. But I also feel like you have to be able to look in the mirror and look at what you have created for yourself and look at your own value. And so this is where we talk about the difference between virtual reality and reality. So currently we live in a day and age where everything is being virtually consumed, right? And which is great. It's a way to reach more people. It's a way to kind of get your thing out there and expand. But if you can find a way to take that virtual value and convert it to reality, and by reality, I mean connecting to real people in the real world, right? Connecting to real people who want to help, who want to support, right? Nahum talked about some of our partners and sponsors who've been able to assist us in our growth. Those are real organizations. Those are real people who find value in what we've created that actually exists in the virtual world. 100%. See what I'm saying? So I just want to put that out there for people. Create.
They see the value in us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They see where we're going.
And so it's about converting the things you're creating and finding a way to connect it to the real world and connect it to real people and real causes and things that you can actually contribute to in the real world. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the balance right there that maybe some people are having a hard time with.
And just to touch upon partners and everything. So year 1 to year 3, we had 0 grants, 0 partners. Mm-hmm. But we still be putting out content. Still framework, still episodes, same time, same amount of cameras. What changed?
Yeah.
Because we have documentation of the work that we put in.
Yeah.
So now to invest in us, it's a lot more less risk adverse than year 1.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's another example and another advice for whoever thinks like you're applying for grants. This is even for, advice for my own self. Like I was like, I'm not getting any grants.
Oh yeah.
But my work is impactful. But just keep putting the work, be consistent, trust in your vision.
Yeah.
And if you're blessed to have people around you that support you, like that, back to what Erm was saying, patient. And that's my biggest issue is having patience. But if you trust the process and be consistent, it will come. Your day will come.
Yeah, for sure.
It will.
Definitely. I also think like you got to block out distractions. That's just on a personal level. I think nowadays there's a lot of distractions and there's a lot of negativity that exists out here. And I think it's about what you choose to focus on, right? So you can choose to focus on progress and positive potential while still being aware of the negativity that's around you, right? Because and being aware of the distractions. Focus and being aware are 2 different things, right? You can be aware of all the things that are happening around you, but what are you focusing on, right? So for those out there who are building, because there's a lot of brilliant, talented people out here who really have positive potential and they really want to build some real stuff. Yeah. But what are you focusing on, right? So when things get dark, when things don't look like they're going right, when there's negativity, what are you focusing on? We know that's out there. You're aware of it. You acknowledge it. It's not to say you're blind. You know what's going on, but what are you focusing on? So I would just urge people to focus on progress, focus on positive potential, focus on the things that matter, but be aware, right? Be mindful of the things that are out there, but just focus. Your focus is everything. So that's something I would definitely urge people to latch on to, for sure.
Yeah, man.
Focus, man.
Yeah, that focus. It's real, man. Yeah, there you go. That's what it is.
And don't stop, man. Just keep creating, man.
Consistency.
Yeah,
there
consistency.
we go.
Don't stop, man. Don't stop.
And,
we got creators in the room, right? Like, don't stop, man. Keep creating. If you believe in what you're putting out, put it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's about your reason. What is your reason, right? If your reason is to inspire, put it out. If your reason is to look cool, put it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever your reason is fine, but just put it out because someone needs to see it. Someone needs to connect to it.
Yeah, like for example, like there's a lot of people like I've met a few people that's like, oh, how do I start a podcast? Whatever. They start podcasts, they put in content. They might go 4 weeks straight, putting an episode every week. Then be like, oh, this one got low views. Then boom, they like get discouraged, whatever, you know. How many episodes have we had that we have low views? But
A lot of them.
But we kept putting out content. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like it's like what you said, just keep putting out content. As long as you're consistent, you know.
Yeah.
There might be a couple episodes that's L's.
Yeah.
And
Well,
not be one that's like actually didn't. L's is actually a bad word. My bad. I apologize.
L's for lessons.
Yeah, but it's like exactly. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like if people like counting their views or whatever they're talking about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
views does not amount to success. A lot of our impactful views, episodes have less than 100 views.
Yo, like fucking
Literally.
probably,
You can cuss on
Bonbuna.
here. You know this.
FM's episode. Yo, like what?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
That's
what-
crazy.
No, what you're touching
That's
on. What
crazy.
you're touching
when I
on
heard
is
about that. That's crazy.
what
to
you're
me.
touching on is actually a great topic.
And that was very beginning. At the beginning, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't at the end. Like right now, like that's like how. You know what I'm saying? How did they find us? How?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think.
you
I
talking about
think.
Vice News?
Yeah. What?
I think. What
Robbie, you
you.
want to provide context?
No, that's
Right.
crazy.
I'm trying to.
That's
Yeah. I'm trying. No.
Okay, Kanye.
No. No, I love that he's passionate.
I got the
I love that he's. I love that he.
It is like,
You clearly got the answers, bro. No, that's a good gem though. I think overall it's just about metrics. I think again, like back to the virtual versus reality. Like
Never know who's watching.
You never know who's watching. That's a good point. And I also feel like you got to know what your value is and find a way to connect it. Right. Sometimes those metrics don't necessarily articulate or describe what your value is and what you have. So my advice again, learn how to articulate your value. Right. If you only let metrics articulate the value you're able to provide, then you're a slave to numbers, straight up, right? But if someone asks you, hey, why should I invest in this, or why should I care about this, or why should I support this, and your only answer is metrics, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mind you, there's people who definitely would love to only care about metrics.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that they don't matter. They definitely matter, but be mindful that there's so much more to what you have, and there's so much more to the word value, right? Like, what did Jay say? He's like, you know the price of everything but the value of nothing.
But what do you say? Numbers don't lie.
a lot of people say that now.
No, numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.
Hey,
But numbers don't tell it all. Numbers don't lie, but numbers don't tell it all.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. The numbers
Is
don't tell
that a
it
quote?
all.
Is that a
That's
quote
a
of
good
the
one.
day?
That's
We
a
didn't even
good
do a
quote.
quote of the day today.
Can I
Look
write
at
No,
that.
because to be honest, like you can even look at like how we're able
That's
to
a good
like
one. That's
pinpoint different stories, different episodes, like top of our head.
Yeah,
These ain't metrics.
yeah,
These are experiences that we went through, like in this room with
Yeah.
all the guests that we've met. You know, so like
Right.
these are impactful to us. This ain't just. I'm not. Just, to be honest, I hate listening to podcasts because I don't gain value from them. But to be in this room, like I believe in the mission statement. I believe in all you guys. I believe in the vision since day one. So
yeah.
like this is a value thing to me. So like I'm getting value from this. So if we all do, right?
Yeah,
So the numbers don't tell all the story, but we're all in this room. 5 years later, 100 episode. Like I built a career
yeah,
off this.
yeah.
Mhm.
Talk
you know,
about it.
Working for the Seattle Storm.
Talk about it.
You're not just a photographer, like graphic work, which I've learned working on the podcast.
Yeah,
Doing video editing, which I've learned with Abdi
yeah.
on the podcast.
Yep.
So I didn't go to school for this, bro. Like this was off the trenches, 2, 3 in the morning,
Yep.
like staying up with my guys, learning this shit.
Yeah,
So like numbers don't say that.
exactly.
I don't care how many followers you have, man. It's like numbers don't tell the story. It's all about back to your why, and then the connections you make with people, and back to the work.
Yeah, he preaching. He preaching.
Sure.
Robbie ain't throwing away with quotes.
Come on, man. They don't even let me. They finally let me tell a quote. 100 episodes later.
It's cool. Hey, me and Aaron gonna double up and get you for that
Yeah.
for that quote.
But no, I definitely feel like we've been
got in there, though.
we've been going in. We've been going in. And for those of you first time listeners, understand we definitely we wanted to use this episode to do this because it's important for us to reflect. I think reflecting is important. We talk about it a lot with our guests because we have people come up here and reflect on their journey. So I think it is important to kind of reflect, take a pause, celebrate, be grateful, right, that we are here, and so much more on the horizon, so much more. I do want to cap us off with getting everybody's one word. You know, we always ask every guest in here what their one word is and
Yeah.
why and all that good stuff. So, we'll start with you, bro.
All right,
What's your one word and tell us why?
My one word is legacy. Yeah, legacy. It's never changed. That's been my one word since we started doing the one words, and glad I get to tell it for the first time. But I would say legacy, and it's kind of crazy because it kind of refined when we had the episode with Push Gaines.
Shout out John.
John Gaines, John Gaines. So researching for his episode, I came across a quote that said, legacy is not something you kind of like leave behind. It's something that you instill in people. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, I didn't think it could get more refined, but it kind of like evolved. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just kind of like a symbolism of like these past 100 episodes. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like I had my values, my morals are straight, but then it kept getting refined every episode, every person I was hearing. So, and they left a legacy with me. You know what I'm saying? Just based off all the gems they gave, and you know all the stories they told and their ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? So that's instilled something in me. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of ironic how episode 99 was like the one that kind of like, you know, put the cherry on top for me. Yeah. And I could tell it now. So man, that's my one word, man. You know,
legacy.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I love it, bro.
Yeah.
Now, what you got, man? What's your one word, bro? Tell us.
Man, you know when people come up, they be like, one word. I don't know. They got to think, you know?
Yeah.
For me, it's easy. For me, it's just like uplift. You know what I'm saying? Just lift as you climb. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you're going through, whatever opportunities you have, reach down, grab somebody with you. Somebody's interested. Grab somebody with you and come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, share your knowledge, bro.
Yeah.
Share your knowledge.
Yeah.
Anybody around you, share your knowledge. Like it doesn't hurt to share. It does. It's not. It's priceless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
that's real.
Lift as you climb, as you go. Be a mentor. If you're in a position of power or whatever, be a mentor. Lift somebody who's interested. Uplift the youth. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Because they're the future.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, the one word that keeps me on the up and up is uplift.
Uplift.
Yeah.
Uplift.
I like how you got up in there.
I love it. Yeah, I know.
It's dope.
All right, what
That's
you got?
fire.
What you got, Beniam?
I have a lot of one words, but my one word is probably just community, man. Like, I really understand who I was and the man I am by understanding like the lineage of the people I come from. That goes from my family, from my people, from my homeland.
Shout out to Axel.
Gang. But also just because like I'm in a position right now. I don't like this word, say like the position of power, but like the position of like impact. And that's because of my brothers that have instilled confidence in me, instilled knowledge in me. You know, I'm always grateful for the knowledge that I've learned. You know what I mean? So it's like I can only give that knowledge to the next person next to me. You know, so not only do I try to reach down, but I try to reach across too. So I try to meet other people in professions, and like, I'm trying to build an empire, and it's documented in my journey throughout these past few years. I don't know where I want to go in terms of like positions. I just know where I want to go in terms of like impact, and I want to bring like this type of framework outside of Seattle and different countries. I want to invest in Africa, and all that goes back to just community. You know, and it goes back to all the art shows that I've hosted in the past. It's all community based. You know, so yeah, that's my one word.
That's great, bro. Man.
Yeah, balls on you, homie.
I don't know.
Top that.
What's Robbie about to do, man?
I'm not gonna follow that, man. I have so many words that I can use, bro. But for me, my one word would be God. I think, because we talk a lot about like what it means to step into your greatness, or what it means to walk in your purpose, or what it means to like follow your passion. And I just feel like everything that I'm doing, everything that moves me, that like propels me to just want to move, give me intention, is God, right? It's like that's what calls me. So I feel like a lot of times anything that I'm doing, I have to remind myself that I'm being called, right? And we talk about this a lot. I feel like everybody's being called for something. You know what I mean? It doesn't really have to be something that the masses can witness, but everybody's being called for something, and it's a matter of whether or not you're answering that call. And when you answer that call, are you going to hold on to that conversation? You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's God. It's the call that He sent my way, and it's me holding that conversation throughout this time. And yeah, that's what keeps me on the up and up.
Fire, bro.
You know what's crazy? We've never asked each other the one word.
Cheers. Yeah, I'll take a shot to that.
But
Come on.
a lot of conversation that we've had today it doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't. I mean, this is things that we talk about off camera. The only difference is we're wearing headphones.
No, I gotta be honest. We're trained professionals, so I'm used to moving conversations forward, but also like
You came a long way with that too.
being mindful of time. So for us to be able to take time and where it's about us, it does feel different, but it feels good, and I think it's necessary. And I think the audience will appreciate it. For sure. I think the family will appreciate it. I think the listeners will appreciate it. I know I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make this a moment.
We appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, everybody in the room. Do you want to come in front of the camera, bro? You want to wave or something?
One word.
I feel, bro. This is my first and last.
I know, man.
Enjoy this.
Hey, why should be the number one viewed episode because of Nahum's on?
Can I get it being officially?
No, man. Come on, man. I don't want to get canceled, bro.
No. Can I get like I'm officially part of Up and Up?
You want to what? I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
He wants to be like Nahum Abraha. You have first.
Oh yeah, oh, for sure, of course. Okay,
I gotta translate. Nahum was born in Sweden.
Of course. Hey man, hey, because you know. See,
you got little subtitles when Nahum speaks.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. He give me the Shaquille O'Neal vibes.
That's funny.
No, man, definitely. Again, I just want to reiterate, man. You know, this is a celebratory moment. This is a milestone. 100 episodes. Again, numbers don't lie. But sometimes they don't tell the whole truth, and I feel like 100 represents so much more than just a piece of content. This is a legacy that's being built. These are people that have helped us get here. So many people that have helped us get here, and so this is a ode to them, a testament to them, and a celebration. And yeah, man, we ain't stopping anytime soon. We're gonna stay on the up and up. So with that being said, we are officially 100 episodes in.
Yeah. Nahum, you are officially a member of the Up and Up, by the way.
Oh yeah, Nahum, you're officially a member of the Up and Up, bro. Thank you guys, man. Be blessed.
To continue supporting the podcast and the entire Up and Up movement, be sure to rate, review, like, and subscribe.
As well as follow us @_the Up and Up on all social media platforms to stay connected with everything the Up and Up has coming your way.
Thanks for listening, and until the next one,
keep it on the Up and Up.